The Last Stand. The Zenthran Empire stretched across 3 galaxies like a malignant shadow, its crystalline warships enforcing an iron law upon countless civilizations. For 500 years, no force had successfully challenged their hegemony. Species that resisted were either annihilated or reduced to vassalage, their cultures stripped away until only servitude remained. In the vast emptiness between the Orion and Perseus arms, a single vessel drifted through the cosmic dark. The ship appeared unremarkable at first glance, a battered hull scored by micrometeor impacts, its designation barely visible. Echo's Pride. This lone human ship represented the last free vessel of a species that had once dreamed of touching the stars. Captain Marcus Reeves stood on the bridge, his weathered hands gripping the command console. At 48 years old, he carried the weight of humanity's survival on his shoulders. The crew of 37 souls represented the finest minds Earth had produced before the Great Silence, the day the Zenthran Empire decided humanity posed too great a threat to exist freely. "Captain, we're approaching the Draconis boundary," announced Navigation Officer Sarah Chen, her voice steady despite the implications. The Draconis sector was forbidden space, where the Empire conducted its most secret operations. Any unauthorized vessel entering would face immediate destruction. "Maintain course," Marcus replied, his gray eyes fixed on the star chart. "It's time we learned what they're hiding." Chief Engineer Dmitry Volkov looked up from his station, concern etched across his broad features. "Sir, our stealth systems can only do so much. The moment we cross that boundary, every Zenthran sensor within 10 light-years will know we're here." "That's the plan, Dmitry," Marcus said with a grim smile. "We've spent 5 years running and hiding. Today, we stop being prey." The bridge fell silent as Echo's Pride crossed into forbidden space. For several minutes, nothing happened. Then the tactical display erupted with warnings as 3 Zenthran scout vessels materialized from hyperspace, their crystalline hulls reflecting starlight like deadly prisms. "Imperial scouts bearing 045 Mark 12, reported Tactical Officer James Rodriguez. "They're hailing us." "Let's hear what they have to say," Marcus ordered. The main screen flickered to life, revealing a Zenthran commander. The alien's elongated skull gleamed with bioluminescent patterns, its 4 arms moving in what humans had learned was a gesture of contempt. "Human vessel, you have violated Imperial space. Power down your systems and prepare for termination." The translator rendered the words in flat, emotionless tones, but the threat was clear. Marcus stepped forward, his posture relaxed but ready. "This is Captain Marcus Reeves of the Echo's Pride. We're just passing through. No need for hostilities." The Zenthran's patterns flared brighter. "There is no passing through in Imperial space, human. Your species' allotment of mercy expired long ago." As the communication ended, Sarah's fingers flew across her console. "Captain, I'm detecting massive energy signatures deeper in the sector. It's not like anything in our database. Can you pinpoint the source?" Marcus asked. "Working on it." "Got it. There's a facility in orbit around the 4th planet. The energy readings are off the charts." Dimitri's eyes widened as he analyzed the data. "Those patterns, they're consistent with dimensional weaponry, the kind that could tear apart entire star systems." The implications hit the bridge crew like a physical blow. If the Empire was developing such weapons, no corner of the galaxy would be safe. "Tactical analysis, James." Marcus turned to his weapons officer. "The scouts are moving to attack formation. Their shields are up, weapons charging. We've got maybe 30 seconds before they open fire." Marcus made his decision in an instant. "All hands, battle stations. Sarah, plot a course toward that facility. Dmitry, give me everything our engines have. James," he paused, meeting the tactical officer's gaze, "show them why humanity refused to kneel." The transformation was immediate. Echo's Pride, which moments before had seemed like a tired refugee vessel, revealed its true nature. Hidden weapon ports slid open, revealing an arsenal that shouldn't have been possible on a ship this size. The humans had spent years perfecting miniaturization and efficiency, creating weapons that matched Imperial firepower in packages a fraction of the size. The first Zenthran scout fired, its crystalline beam lance cutting through space. But Echo's pride was no longer there. The human ship moved with an agility that defied its appearance, spinning and weaving through the attack patterns with almost precognitive precision. "Return fire," Marcus commanded. James Rodriguez had been waiting for this moment. The Echo's pride's main gun spoke, not with the elegant energy beams favored by the Empire, but with hypervelocity kinetic rounds wrapped in unstable plasma sheaths. The first scout's shields flared and died as the projectiles found their mark, the alien vessel fragmenting under the assault. The remaining scouts reacted with shock. Zenthran tactical doctrine emphasized overwhelming firepower and shield strength. They weren't prepared for an enemy that combined unpredictable movement with weapons that bypassed their defenses entirely. "Second scout is trying to break off and signal for reinforcements," Sarah reported. "Not today," Marcus growled. "James, EMP burst. Dimitri, prepare the drive core for overcharge." The electromagnetic pulse weapon was another human innovation, designed specifically to disrupt Zenthran technology. As the wave washed over the fleeing scout, its systems flickered and failed. Rodriguez followed up with precise conventional fire, reducing the vessel to expanding debris. The third scout, seeing its companions destroyed in seconds, attempted to retreat into hyperspace. But the humans had learned from years of guerrilla warfare. Micromines, deployed silently during the initial engagement, detonated around the scout, creating a localized gravity distortion that collapsed its jump field. Trapped and alone, it fell quickly to Echo's pride's guns. "Scout patrol eliminated," James reported, his voice professional despite the adrenaline coursing through his veins. No distress signals detected. The bridge crew allowed themselves a moment of satisfaction, but Marcus knew this was only the beginning. "Good work, everyone." But that was the easy part. "Sarah, how long until we reach that facility?" 40 minutes at current speed, Captain." "And how long until the Empire realizes their scouts are missing?" "Based on standard patrol patterns, we have maybe an hour before they investigate." Marcus nodded. "Then we have a narrow window. Dimitri, I want you to analyze everything we can about that facility. If they're building doomsday weapons, we need to know how to stop them." As Echo's pride accelerated toward its target, the crew prepared for what might be their final battle. They were one ship against an empire, 37 humans against a force that had conquered galaxies. But they carried with them something the Zenthran could never understand: the indomitable human spirit that refused to accept defeat, even in the face of overwhelming odds. The stars watched silently as the lone human vessel raced toward destiny, toward a confrontation that would either mark humanity's extinction or the beginning of something extraordinary. In the depths of space, where hope seemed as distant as the farthest star, Echo's pride carried the flame of human defiance into the heart of darkness. Against all odds, the Zenthran battle station orbiting Draconis IV dwarfed anything humanity had ever constructed. A massive crystalline sphere 20 kilometers in diameter, it pulsed with energies that made space itself ripple. As Echo's pride approached, the crew finally understood the true scope of what they faced. "Scanning complete," Dimitri announced, his voice tight with tension. "That thing isn't just a weapons platform. It's a reality anchor. They're literally rewriting the laws of physics inside that structure." Marcus studied the tactical display, his mind racing through possibilities. What kind of weapon needs that much power? "The kind that doesn't just destroy fleets or planets," Sarah answered, her face pale. "The kind that erases entire species from existence, past, present, and future." The implications sent a chill through the bridge. The Empire wasn't content with conventional dominance. They wanted the power to remake reality itself. "Captain," James interrupted, "multiple hyperspace signatures incoming." It's the Imperial Response Force. The main display filled with contact markers as ship after ship emerged from hyperspace. The Zenthran 7th Fleet, pride of the Empire, assembled in perfect formation. 200 vessels ranging from destroyers to dreadnoughts, their combined firepower capable of sterilizing entire star systems. At the center of the formation, the flagship Infinite Dominion emerged like a crystalline mountain given form. Aboard its command deck, Fleet Admiral Kix Theta surveyed the lone human vessel with a mixture of curiosity and contempt. So, the Admiral's bioluminescent patterns flickered with amusement. The last free humans have chosen their grave. Signal all ships. I want this ended quickly. Back on Echo's Pride, Marcus watched the enemy fleet deploy with professional detachment. Every crew member knew the odds, 200 to 1, with the enemy possessing superior firepower and technology. By any rational calculation, they were already dead. Orders, Captain, James asked quietly. Marcus turned to face his crew, these brave souls who had followed him into certain death. Ladies and gentlemen, the Empire expects us to fight their way. Shield to shield, gun to gun. They expect us to die like everyone else who's challenged them. He paused, a fierce smile crossing his face. Let's disappoint them. The battle began not with the thunder of guns, but with silence. Echo's Pride accelerated toward the enemy formation, then suddenly went dark. Every system, every light, every emission ceased. To Zenthran sensors, the human ship simply vanished. Where did they go? Demanded Admiral Kix Theta. Find them. But finding a ship that had spent years perfecting stealth against Zenthran sensors proved difficult. Echo's Pride had become a ghost, drifting on momentum alone through the void. Inside the darkened ship, the crew worked by touch and memory. This was the culmination of years of preparation, the Dead Hand Protocol, designed for exactly this moment. Parasites deployed, whispered Rodriguez. Thousands of microdrones, each no larger than a fist, spread from Echo's Pride like spores. Invisible to sensors, they attached themselves to Zenthran hulls. The Imperial fleet, finding no target, began to spread out in a search pattern. This was their first mistake. Zenthran doctrine emphasized coordinated firepower, but now they were separating, creating gaps in their overlapping defenses. Phase 2. Marcus commanded. The parasites activated simultaneously, not as weapons, but as transmitters, broadcasting on a frequency that human scientists had discovered through careful study of captured Zenthran technology. The signal was simple, mimicking the electromagnetic signature of a Zenthran weapon preparing to fire. Chaos erupted in the Imperial formation. Ships detected weapons signatures from their own allies, automated defense systems responding to perceived threats. In the confusion, several vessels opened fire on each other. They're shooting at shadows, Sarah reported with grim satisfaction. But the chaos was only beginning. While the fleet was distracted, Echo's Pride had maneuvered beneath the Infinite Dominion itself. Now came the most audacious part of the plan. Dimitri, Marcus ordered, initiate the Prometheus Protocol. The engineer's hands moved across his console with practiced precision. Deep within Echo's Pride, a device that represented humanity's greatest secret activated. Not a weapon in the conventional sense, but something far more subtle and devastating. Years before, human scientists studying captured Zenthran technology had made a startling discovery. The crystalline matrices that formed the basis of all Imperial technology had a fatal flaw. They were vulnerable to quantum resonance at very specific frequencies. The right vibration could cause cascade failures throughout entire ships. The Prometheus device generated exactly that frequency, but with a crucial modification. Instead of affecting one ship, it used the Zenthran's own communication network against them. Every vessel in the fleet was connected through quantum entanglement, allowing instantaneous coordination. Now that same connection became a pathway for destruction. The effect started small. Minor fluctuations in the Infinite Dominion systems, easily dismissed as battle damage. But the resonance spread, jumping from ship to ship through the quantum network, like a virus through a computer system. Admiral Kixthida watched in horror as his tactical display showed system failures cascading through the fleet. Shields flickered and died. Weapons went offline. Engines failed. The pride of the Zenfern Empire was being reduced to drifting hulks by an enemy they couldn't even see. Impossible, the Admiral breathed. No single ship could. But humanity had learned something the Empire never understood. Sometimes, the mightiest force isn't the one with the biggest weapons, but the one willing to think differently, to turn an enemy's strength into weakness. As the Imperial fleet foundered, Echo's pride revealed itself, rising from beneath the crippled flagship like a predator emerging from ambush. The human vessel's weapons spoke again, targeting the Infinite Dominion's critical systems with surgical precision. "Admiral," Marcus's voice came through the communication system. "I believe you wanted this ended quickly." The battle station at Draconis IV watched helplessly as its defenders fell. Without the fleet's protection, it was vulnerable. Marcus made another decision that would echo through history. "Target the station's power core," he ordered. "But first, broadcast this message on all frequencies." The transmission went out across the galaxy, reaching every world under Imperial rule. "This is Captain Marcus Reeves of the free ship Echo's Pride. Today, the Zenfern Empire learns what happens when you corner humanity. We are not your subjects. We are not your victims. We are the species that refuses to kneel, that turns your own weapons against you, that finds victory in impossible odds. Today, one human ship defeated your greatest fleet. Tomorrow, imagine what 1,000 human ships might do." The station's core detonated in a cascade of exotic energies, the dimensional weapon systems collapsing in on themselves. The explosion was visible across the sector, a new star burning briefly in the void. As Echo's Pride withdrew from the battlefield, leaving behind the wreckage of the once mighty 7th Fleet, the crew finally allowed themselves to believe they had survived. More than survived, they had achieved the impossible. "Captain," Sarah reported, her voice filled with wonder, "we're receiving signals from across the galaxy. Resistance movements on 100 worlds. They saw what we did. They're rising up." Marcus nodded, exhaustion finally showing on his face. "One spark can start a wildfire. We've shown the galaxy that the Empire can be beaten. Now others will carry that flame forward." As Echo's Pride vanished into hyperspace, the Zenfern Empire faced a new reality. For 500 years, they had ruled through fear and overwhelming force. But now, that fear had been broken by 37 humans who dared to do the impossible. The age of imperial dominance was ending. The age of freedom, lit by human defiance and ingenuity, was just beginning. In the depths of space, where legends are born and empires fall, the name Echo's Pride would be remembered as the ship that changed everything. Not through superior numbers or technology, but through the unconquerable human spirit that refuses to accept defeat, even when facing the impossible. The galaxy would never be the same.